Okay, welcome everyone. It's not work. Welcome everyone. We're so excited to have you here tonight. We are about to finish up May. So May 2024. So here we are. And we want to, Joe and I are going to be hosting this call. And we're going to be going over, mute people. Hold on. Mute all. All right, perfect. We're going to be going over several things. So objections, a little bit about role playing, how to handle those objections. And we're also going to touch on leadership. And who better to do this than Joe, who has been with us for a long time. And apparently me as well, have been here for a long time and loving it and really trying to pour into you guys so you can have a successful business as well. So you can learn the skills that you need in order to grow here and to not give up so easily. Because one of the things that hurts us in our ego is when people tell us no, or when we're so excited about something that we know it's good, but they don't see it yet. And it's easy to get discouraged, but at the end of the day, if you have a clear mission, if you have a clear vision, if you know why you're here and what this business is going to do for you, you're going to dig deep into learning how to handle objections, learning how to talk to people, learning how to turn those, no, not right now, I don't have the time for it, I don't, it doesn't work, whatever it is that they think, you can turn that into showing them how this business could really work for them as well. I want to ask you for a favor, if you could please turn on your cameras, because I love seeing faces and it's easy for me to get distracted if I don't see your faces. And let's just dive into it. So objections is something that you're gonna find always. If you're doing your job of messaging people, of connecting with new people, of reaching out to your hot market, to your warm market, connecting with cold market and turning them into warm and hot, and if you're offering the business and you're offering the products, you are going to encounter those objections, yes or yes. So it's all about one, recognizing them and responding back. Because what I've noticed is that, you know, it's easy to think, it's easy to find that an objection is a no, when in reality, it's an objection and they're just not sure. Many times when they're telling you, not right now, no, I'm not interested, or when it's a negative answer of what you're looking for, sometimes all they really need is a little bit more information. Sometimes all they really need is for you to show up more and, you know, one, show up the way that you are passionate about your business and constantly be sharing. I mean, I think that your stories on Instagram is a really great way to show those people that are giving you those objections that you're here, that you love what you do, that you're passionate about what you do, and that they can come to you for questions. Okay, so first start with you knowing that you have to show up, yes or yes, because the objections that you're going to encounter many times are a mirror to how you're showing up, and that's why they're not sure yet. You're telling them that you're excited about a business and how it's changing your life, but you're not showing up. You're not showing them how to do it. Okay, so number one, you need to know and you need to feel sure that you did everything that you could today to show your people that you love what you do. You're talking about the products, or you're talking about the business, or you're talking about an objection. Like, let's say something that I do, for example, is when someone tells me, I don't have the time to do this business. I would love to, but I just simply don't have the time. I have too many demands. One, I can use my personal story because I was working 3 jobs when I started this business, but you can find somebody else's personal story and you can use that story to talk about it and to elaborate on it. If it's, for example, a mom that has 5 kids and she's like, how am I going to do it? There's, for example, Jess Etzel, she's a director in Australia, and I think she has 5 or 6 kids, and she's absolutely crushing it. So if you can talk about how the people that are doing it, you're showing those that have the objections and aren't sure how they can do it. So it's all about painting a vision for the people that you are talking to. So if you can share on the chat some of the objections that you have, because later on Joe and I will like share like what our feedback would be with those objections. But at the end of the day, I think we kind of have like very common objections of what we get here, which is, like I said, I don't have time for this, and what would you say when someone doesn't have time? You can say things like, you can do this business in 15-minute increments. You don't have to sit down for 8 hours a day to do this business. You can, and you can give them tangibles, like, for example, when you're cooking breakfast for your family, you can put on one headphone, and during that time you can be listening to a training while you're cooking breakfast, or you can be getting your personal development in the morning so that you're freeing up your time later on. So it's like showing them how they do have time, especially because us human beings are the greatest time wasters of existence, because we have so much potential and we have so much that we can do, but we get distracted. We get easily distracted. So what we want to show our people, our potentials that are giving us that objection, is show them how they do have time and how this business adapts to their life, and now how they have to adapt to this business. It's not like you're starting a job and now, you know, your whole life revolves around this job, and you clock in at this time, you clock out at that time. You cannot have an emergency, because, you know, if you have an emergency during the time that you're at work, well, you're at work, you're at risk of getting fired. It's not like that here. It's full flexibility. So anyone that says, I don't have the time, make sure you let them know how flexible this business really is. And I'm going to go back to the stories. You can go on your stories, like, we are supposed to be showing up for our businesses every single day. So you can go on your stories and you can talk about that. You're basically reinforcing what you're saying to your potential, but you're also talking to the people that are watching you and that also kind of have the same objection of, I don't think I have the time for this, but you're telling them how they do. Or, I don't have the money right now. I don't have the money for the business, or I don't have the money for the products. So if they say, I don't have, you know, if it's for the business and they don't have the money, then, you know, for us, just for you girls to think about isn't that the reason why they should be doing the business? Like, if they're struggling financially and they don't have the money to sign up, isn't that the reason why they should find the money somehow, some way, in order to change? Like, nothing changes if nothing changes. And we have to be the ones that deliver that message, that if you don't change your current situation, it's not going to change magically for you. So let's help them get creative. Let's help them by telling them, giving them different examples. I know of girls who have done garage sales in order to get the $150 to start their business, or 200, 300, whatever. I know girls who have sold their clothes on Poshmark, what they don't use anymore, and they use that money to start the business. Or you can put it on a credit card and you can pay it off as soon as possible, because my goal as your mentor is to help you make your money back as fast as you can. Or, you know, for my personal story as well, like, you share like an idea without telling them what to do, because at the end of the day, it is their money and you're just helping them get creative. So for example, when I started this business, I was 2 months behind on my car payment, and I had the money to make a payment, but then Monet came into my life and I was in that situation where I didn't have the money to sign up, and I used my car payment money to start this business, and I took a leap of faith. To me, it was either I have to make the money back or I have to return my product pack because my car is going to get repossessed. So if we're able to show our people how much this business can change their current situation, then you'll find the money. How many times do we now go to Target and spend $200 on nothing? And it's like embarrassing, because you didn't go to Target to spend that much money. You went to Target to buy one thing, but you ended up finding other things, and you ended up spending more than you should have, and you went over your budget. We're human beings, and a lot of us also don't, well, I don't want to include myself in there anymore because I've been learning a lot, but we also don't have a lot of financial literacy. So we might not have money, but we're still making financial mistakes, and we're still spending our money in other places, like Starbucks, which is like $7 or $8 now. And how many people go to Starbucks every single day because they have to get their coffee from Starbucks in the morning? How about you save for a month your daily Starbucks cup, and with that money, you can start your business. Okay, so what I want to show you girls is that an objection is an opportunity for you to handle someone's lack of knowing. It's just a confused mind. It's just someone that doesn't know how this is going to work out for them. Another one is, I want to think about it. Okay, I completely understand that you want to think about it. I also had time to process all of this information. Is there anything else that you would like for me to send you over? Is there anything else that you would like is there anything that I can send you that you would like to look at? You know, if they want to think about it. So what am I going to do? If first I'm trying to get the permission for me to send it to them. And if they're like, no, you know, I don't know, I'm still going to send it to them because I know that this is going to be a helpful resource. So I can share with them like the Monique Global official website or like the gratitude program, depending of who they are or like kind of what they like. Or I can send the Truth About Monet website, truthaboutmonet.com. That's a really great website with a lot of credibility of where Monet comes from and what Monet does, with like science information and like awards that we've won and things like that. So you want to give more credibility to what you're offering. If they have to think about it, if they have to think about it, it's because they have questions. If they have to think about it, it's because they're confused. If they have to think about it, it's because they don't know. And although they're not telling you, it's your job to find out. And the way that you are going to find out about this is if you can, one, control your emotions, because if you can't control your emotions and someone tells you, I have to think about it, you're going to grab your phone, you're going to launch your phone, and you're going to be like, oh, here we go, there's another one that has to think about it, or here we go, there's another one that doesn't have the money to do this. So let's first control ourselves, and let's know, and let's, if you're, focus on your journey. Like, don't be so desperate. Like, everyone's telling me no, and I have to get the people right now. No, focus on your journey. You know that this business is going to work for you. And if it isn't working for you right now, you're going to learn the skills that you need to learn in order for your business to work for you. So handle your emotions, whether you're getting left on red, whether you're getting told no, whether they're telling you they don't have the money, they don't have the time, I'm not good enough for this, I don't have the skills, whatever it is. If you can have a clear mind, you're going to be able to answer. Because many times what I've noticed as well is that you find an objection and you girls don't answer. You like it and you move on to the next one, when that's an opportunity for you to help them with their confusion and to give them the information that they need. Don't give up so easily. You shouldn't be giving up so easily. At the same time, people need multiple exposures, about 7 to 8 exposures from the moment that you introduce them to the business or the product, for them to purchase from you or for them to want to do this business with you. So how else can you give them exposures? Social media showing up on your stories is huge. If you can do events and invite them to the events, it's huge. Even if you do an event and 3 people show up and she didn't show up, like the girl that you wanted to show up the most doesn't show up, make sure that you're taking pictures, you're taking, you know, content, whatever, and then send it to her. I'm so sad you weren't able to make it to our event. This is a little recap of how it went. That's more exposures, like that. You have to be doing the work. Like, you have to be showing people that you're doing the work, because if they're confused, they're watching you. They're watching you because they want to not be confused and they want to be able to make a decision whether they know it or not. I would have to talk, like, another objection is, I need to talk to my husband. Okay, definitely go talk to your husband. What questions do you think that he would have so I can answer them for you, so you can give him the information that he needs. Don't stress. Don't be like, oh, she has to talk to her husband and now her husband is gonna say that's a horrible business and why are you gonna do that now, or like you're gonna waste your, don't go there. Let her talk to her husband. Make sure that you're helping her by giving her the information that she needs to talk to her husband. That's her husband. She married him for a reason. Now, if she comes back and she says, I really want to do this, but my husband said no. Let's just remind her that she is still an individual. And if in her heart, she feels like this business could be for her and she could see the results, then she can still just take the leap of faith. She has a 30-day money back guaranteed. There's nothing to lose. All right. I think, I forgot her name, but there's multiple directors that hid the product pack from their husbands until they started making money, or like they made the purchase and they hid it from their husbands because it was over their budget, and then it's like, oh, here, I started this business, it's paying off, it's working, so that's another thing that, like, you can, always give them ideas of how someone could relate to them in some way in like their specific situation. I don't know, so many people could be something like, well, one, you think you don't know a lot of people, but you do actually do know a lot. So you can just show them how they know a lot of people. You can tell them, you can remind them about their coworkers. Did you have any coworker that was a hustler and that you loved her work ethic? Did you have any coworker that was struggling with acne or struggling with hair loss? Do you have a family member, or do things like that, where you're helping them see that they do know people? And two, you can ask them a question like, would you like to have a bigger community? Like, would you like to be surrounded by more like-minded women? And if the answer is yes, then you can say something like, then amazing, because part of this business is meeting new people, is surrounding yourself with people. So you can, for example, there's this app called ClassPass, where you have different studios and different yoga classes and different gyms and Pilates or dance or whatever. And you just go into the app and you select whatever class you want to go to. You're getting a workout in, you're taking care of your body. And in that class, there's like-minded women, if she likes to, if she likes to be active, or if she's a mom and like she's a stay-at-home mom and she doesn't know a lot of people. Do you take your kids to the park? You do. Okay, great. Now that you're going to take your kids to the park, instead of being on your phone and scrolling the whole time, or like being on your phone and taking care of your kids, how about you're not on your phone and you connect with the moms that your kids are playing with? And that's a way for you to meet people, and that's a way for you to expand the people that you don't know. Okay? It's all about helping them get creative. You're going to have 1,000,001 objections, but if you can recognize them and if you can just keep the conversation going, eventually you're going to answer all of their questions. Eventually they're going to come to you and they're going to ask you the questions. And don't be afraid to ask them what questions they have. Don't just like, and it's funny because Joe said this probably like 3 or 4 years ago, probably like 4 years ago. And when she said that, I was like, huh, yeah, totally, that's right. And it's, if I'm talking to a potential and they have no questions and they have no objections and they have nothing for me, then I'm worried, because I don't know anything about this person. Like, I don't know what they want. I don't know what they like. I don't know, like, do they want to sign up? Are they a runner? Are they like just trying to do it for the discount? I don't know anything about them. But if instead they're asking me questions, they have objections, they're like skeptic about something, or they're like, helping me in the conversation, then I'm getting to know them more. And she said that years ago and it stuck with me. And I hope it sticks with you as well, because you want people to ask you questions. You want people to tell you what their objections are. Like, it's not about them not having objections, because they all have them. It's about you giving them a place where they feel confident and they trust you enough to tell you about those things that they're not sure about. All right. So, Joe, should we go over the ones that I have here? Some I already kind of went into, but you can go over some and I can go some over the others. Over some of others.
I think something that I want to start with, because I feel like a lot of the objections kind of go back to this. If you guys were on the call that AJ hosted today at 12, she said something that, we learned from a book, I think, I don't know, but if you want to be interesting, you need to be interested. And a lot of people, when they're like, it's not my thing, I'm not into it in the moment, it's like, I couldn't do it, it's because you're not making it sexy enough. You're not making it cool enough. When someone's watching you, they're not like, I want that job. I want to be on that team call. I want to be on that trip. So of course, too much at the moment. I don't want anything else to think about. If you make something really freaking good, I don't care how much she has going on, she wants in. If you make something so freaking good, she may have to talk to her husband, but she's going to tell her husband, honey, I'm doing this, not can I do this? Okay. I'm interested, but it sounds too surreal. If you're showing enough of what is possible, and maybe you don't have your own success yet or your big success yet, but you're sharing stories, reels, interviews, lives with people that do, I would tell her, how is it so surreal? This is my mentor that achieved this. This is my sideline. This is like, she lives in Miami, just like us. Like, you're showing them real life success stories. And then with yours, don't cut your success short. Like, oh my God, I just joined a week ago and I already got my first bonus, whether it's a block bonus or whatever. No thanks, not my thing. Also, I feel like if we make this interesting enough, it could be everyone's thing, because everyone can use additional income. There are very few people, very, very few people that I say that I believe will be like, it's really not my thing. And I say that because one of my best friends, like, she's like, you couldn't catch me dead talking on Instagram. And she's well off. She has a husband that's well off. And she's like, I like, so I do believe that some people, it's not their thing. But out of 6 years that I've been doing this, thousands of people that I've spoken to, I think there's two that I'm like, okay, they really would never want to put themselves out there. But that's also the same person that is not complaining about her current situation. Because if she was, I would be like, girl, choose your hard. How much is it at first? I'm very open as to, we're very budget friendly. We have different packages to work with your budget and your hair type and skin type. And then Mariana covered it really, really well. If they say like, I can't afford $150. If they say, and this may not be a very common one, but Kathy, if you put it, it's for a reason. If they say they've done network marketing in the past and it didn't work for them, whether it's another company or Monet, I always ask them, like, why didn't it work? Or why do you think it didn't work? Okay. And most of the time it'll be like, no one wanted to buy from me, or no one joined my team, or some people will blame their uplines. It's never your upline's fault if you don't have success, but my upline didn't help me enough, or I didn't have a supportive husband, or I mentally wasn't there. And then depending on the excuse they give you, then you go from there, which is why it is so important to ask questions and have them ask you questions and give you answers. So if they say, no one wanted to buy from me, that's probably a very common one. I would say, how did you run your business? How were you promoting the products? How were you promoting yourself? What did your social media look like? How many people do you think you like reached out to in the span of your business? And you'd be surprised, as they're answering, they'll come around and be like, yeah, I didn't really give it my all, or I was distracted, I didn't try. And every company is different and every team is different. And even though I'm a true believer that your upline does not make you successful, your team, obviously your downline helps, but you can rewrite that story, right? So I'm very honest with my potentials. I do not promise them anything. I don't promise, oh, if you join my team, you're gonna know. I'm like, this is what it is. If you join my team, you're going to have access to my resources, to my chats. You're going to have access to me. This is my job, my full-time job, but I will only match your energy. So I will meet you where you want to go. And if you want to make $10,000, I will equip you to make those $10,000, but I need to see you putting in the work. If you want to make 100, I will cheer you on for those 100. But there just always has to be very clear communication. Let's see. What other, I think those are like the common ones that we got on here, but everything always goes back to like, how are you making the business? How are you presenting the business? How are you presenting yourself? Like, think about it. You are going to someone, especially if you're new and you're reaching out and you're saying, hey, I want you to join my team. I want you to join my business. Their first answer is always going to be no. It's always going to be a pushback. It's always going to be an objection. Why? Because our brain is wired to protect us from the unknown. And this is the unknown for that person, because clearly they're not in network marketing, they're not in Monet. If you don't give it to them in a silver platter where it's so attractive, where they know what's in it for them, where it's clear, they are going to say no. And even if you're making it super attractive, you're being very clear, people will still say no. Like Mariana touched in the very beginning with the whole emotion thing, we need to become comfortable with getting rejected. Guys, I am 6 years in, $5 million later, I get rejected all the time. And recently, the other day, one of my girls reminded me of how much I get rejected, but it was also a reminder of I don't even notice how much I get rejected because I'm not counting the people that left me unread, right? So we finished one of the sales and she texts me and she's like, oh my God, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not good for this. These 3 people were supposed to sign up. I sent them a card and nothing. And I was like, wait a minute. I sent out 5 cards and none of them checked out. And I did not wake up today thinking I wasn't good enough. I honestly forgot about them. And not literally because I do have them written down and I know when it's time to follow up, I would have eventually bumped into them. But what I'm trying to get to is like, I am not getting married to the 2, the 3, the 5 people that I sent cards to because they are not defining my value. And I learned this because I was that person that told my upline no. And I was rude to her and I was skeptical and I made fun of her. And then when I came around and I joined the business, I realized that was all my negativity projecting out, right? My like lack of, self-confidence projecting out. So when people tell me no, I'm like, it is not me, it's them. They are not ready. They're not sure. They are scared. They have questions and they will come around. Also today on AJ's call, her best friend joined her like 3 years after she was in the business, after she made over $1 million, after she went and spent a whole summer in Italy. And it's like that's what it took to convince her best friend. But imagine if she wouldn't have stayed consistent, if she wouldn't have made her million, if she wouldn't have gone to Italy, the friend would have never joined, who's also now a director and is killing it in the business. So we can't just stay focused on the 3 or the 5 people that you reached out to this month or this week. This business is about constant communication. Okay, we are in the people business. We are in the talking business. If you don't like people and if you don't like talking, you are in the wrong business. I used to hate people and I used to hate talking. But when I quickly realized how special it is to make connections and how much someone else has to offer you, I changed that perspective. And now that's why I talk to everyone and I meet new people. And that's why I get VIPs and market partners every month. And I'm like, where are these people coming from? And I'm like, these are the seeds that I've been planting for the last 6 years. So objections, I love them. The more objections you're getting, it means you're doing your job. It means you are reaching out to people. You are, piquing curiosity. So embrace them. And the more you get them, the better you're going to be at handling them. And I don't ever want you to think of an objection and say like, get scared, right? That's like a good thing. I want you to think of an objection. I don't want you to think of an objection and think, I need to convince them. You don't need to convince anyone to do anything. Because if you have to convince them to join, you're gonna have to convince them to work. And if any of you have a team and you've recruited someone that doesn't work, you know how annoying it is to be behind someone. Hi, Mari, are you working? Mariana, what are you doing today? No, like we're all self-sufficient, grown women, adults, men. If there's in this call, like we're all business owners. We need to want it for ourselves. So don't find yourself in convincing mode. I need to convince her. I need to beg her. Like, you are showing her it's facts. Okay, this is what the business is. This is what we have to offer. Are you in or are you out? Oh, but I don't have money. Then that's exactly what you need at the business. Oh, but I don't have time. No one starts something more because they have time. But maybe you do want more time. Oh, but I don't have experience. We teach you everything you need to know. But are you willing to be coachable? Are you willing to get out of your comfort zone? I don't know a lot of people. You may not talk to a lot of people, but you've met a lot of people. You're over 18 because you need to be 18 to join the business. You know how many people you've met in 18 years of your life? Again, are you willing to get uncomfortable? Are you willing to reach out to those people you haven't reached out to in years? That's the difference here. Are you willing to do the uncomfortable things, or are you just going to use them as excuses? But let me see. Any more objections? No, right? How do you guys go about it with follow-ups, with potentials and Ps? What do you mean? Like, how do you follow up? How would I follow up? I'll go briefly into it because we do want to, stay with objections and go into leadership. But so when it comes to following up, I love following up because I think it shows that you take your business serious. Even me in my real life, everything, if I'm deciding between a contractor, a swimming instructor, a whatever, I usually go with the person that follows up. Not because I'm like, ooh, but I'm like, they remember, they care, they need the business or they appreciate the business. And we get busy. Most of the time I don't answer because I don't want to. I don't answer because I forget. And I'm like, damn, they care. So I love following up and I think it's important. And I feel like 90% of my market partners and the VAPs come from when I follow up. But when it comes to following up, as it is when you're talking to potentials, I view it as dating. You don't want to be too desperate. If you're talking to a guy or you're trying to meet a guy, you're not texting him every day. Like you're dying to, right? Maybe you're like looking at his Instagram, like, what is he doing? Why hasn't he texted me? But you will freaking swallow a frog before you triple text this man, right? Or at least most of us would. Same goes with potentials. Again, you only have 3 potentials and you're like on them every day. Did you think about it? Why haven't you answered me? I sent you the card. The sale ends today. Like, chill. She's going to be like, why is she so desperate? Does she not have anyone else that wants to join her business? So I follow up. I would say, again, I can't even tell you that I have a system of like every week because I talk to so many people that I kind of just, when I'm on my follow-up, I look, when was the last time I spoke to her? I would say at least every 3 weeks to a month. And I follow up when I have something to offer, right? Very few times I'll be like, hey, just following up, unless it's been like a while. But whether it's like, the month is coming to an end and the $100 credit is coming to an end, or they just announced X, Y, and Z exciting news, and I thought about you. But I make all my follow-ups very, very personal. If you've ever gotten a follow-up from me, it says, hi, Mariana, I just thought about you because, and then I tie it into our conversation. I know you were interested in joining my team. They just announced an $100 credit. I think that's great because you can start with the most affordable pack. And when you get that credit, we can buy additional products. What's holding you back? Are you ready? Always end it with a question. Hi, Mariana. I thought about you because I know you mentioned you love to travel and they just announced another paid for trip that if you start today, you have 6 months to qualify for and I will help you do it. Are you ready to get started? Like very direct, always end it with a question, always by name, always I thought of you because that makes people feel so special. And yeah, I space out my follow-ups big time. I would say maybe like if I'm going for a goal, like when I needed like perfect 10, I was probably, following up like every month or so. If not, I kind of let it ride, but I make sure I'm always showing up. Right. And if they interact with me on my stories about something else, obviously I answer them, like I still communicate. I just never want to give the vibe of I'm desperate or I need you because no one wants to join someone that is desperate or has no one else on their team. Marty, do you think we should go into leadership? Anyone else have any other objections? Basically, they're going to happen. Okay, I don't care how good you are. I don't care how long you've been in the business. You're gonna get objections all the time, and the more you embrace them, and the more you love them, and the more you welcome them, the better you're going to feel. Like I literally go on my stories and I'm like, tell me what is holding you back? Like, why don't you want to join me? Or what are you scared of? And when they answer, I go off and I have a conversation with them. And it's not something that I get offended by or I'm scared. I'm curious, like, what's holding you back? And then you just, get to know each other and talk. And sometimes they join and sometimes they don't, but at least you are talking. So I want to get into a little bit of leadership because honestly, leadership is everything when it comes to this business. You guys have been hearing a lot from all the calls we've been doing, how, selling is huge. Being a super seller is amazing. You can make so much money from selling the products. But if you want to max out the comp plan, which our comp plan has a lot to offer, you need to grow a team. And to be able to grow a team, you need to become a leader. You need to be willing to, learn leadership, because it's what we do here, right? I have girls that are like, I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to host calls. I'm like, okay, so you're going to be a super seller for the rest of your life. And that's perfectly fine, but I'm not going to lead your team for you, right? So there is a difference. And by the way, guys, I had never had a leadership role really. Maybe I was the captain for cheerleading in middle school. So I guess that's close as I got to leadership. But then I did have my own wedding planning business. So there's a little bit of leadership there, but that's pretty much it. I've never like led a team or hosted calls or dealt with so many women and hormones and emotions. And gosh, is it hard? But I was willing to work, right? I was willing to work. And I want you to understand the difference. Chester, I'll get to your question now. I want you to understand the difference between being a manager and being a leader, because a lot of you that do come from like the corporate world or the, sale, like retail and all those things. I don't want to be a manager. You're not. Okay. Management is about persuading people to do things they don't want to do. As a manager, you are literally telling them you need to do this, yes or yes. Most of the time, the people below the manager aren't happy to be there, don't agree, don't want to do it, but they do it because that's their manager, that's their job, and they don't want to get fired, right? So management is about persuading people to do the things they don't want to do. While leadership is about inspiring people to do the things they never thought they could. Okay. As a leader, you are inspiring. You are showing them what's possible, and you are letting them borrow your belief of what is possible for them. Leadership is all about influence. Okay. And you are a leader since the first day you join Money. I don't care if you don't have anyone under you. You are a leader to yourself. If you can't lead yourself, you will not be able to lead a team. And that's why some people join and get stuck and don't grow. And it's because they have not managed the art of leading themselves, and God or the universe, whatever you believe in, is not going to give you a team if you're not ready for one just yet. Okay. So you're a leader from day one, and you need to start showing up as her. And it's funny because, I had very quick success in this business, very big success. Like my team blew up, one of the fastest growing teams in Money history. And when everyone would ask me, Joe, how do you have so many directors? How do you have so many MMBs? Like at one point I had like 6 directors, level 1, 30 MMBs, level 1. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't take credit for anything. And I was like, and then when you think back, I'm like, I do know. I was just inspiring them with my own work ethic. I was leading the way. I was just doing the work, and they were following because they saw what was possible. They saw me working, and that's what a leader is, right? So keep that in mind. I want you to think of who is your dream market partner, right? We all have that dream market partner that you're like, when she signs up, I'm going to blow up. When she signs up, I'm going to be closer to those $1 million, closer to that MMB rank. What does that dream market partner look like for you? Drop it in the chat. If you could pick one girl, I would tell you that dream market partner recruits like crazy for me. That would be a big one. Also, a dream market partner would be a big time, big super seller, because there's a lot of money. What is a dream market partner for you guys? Let me see. Write it out. Who do you dream with? And if you don't have a dream market partner, we have a problem. No one has a dream market partner. You guys are just writing me a whole story. A leader. Okay. That's a little vague, but that's very good. You want all your dream market partners to be leaders. She's consistent. She's determined. I love that. Being determined is huge. We all want those girls that are like, I'm going to make it happen. I don't care what it takes. That's determination. Goal-oriented, self-motivated, consistent. Self-motivated is huge, right? Because we all get these people that are like, I want you to wake me up every day. Girl, I got 2 kids to wake up. I barely wake up myself. I can't wake you up. Hard worker, not being shy, wants to run with you. I love that. That not being shy is big because I was shy. So hungry, highly skilled, clear vision. Okay, all the things. wants to learn to be bent and happy in social media. I love, Faye, how specific you're getting, stepping out of your comfort zone. Okay, you need to become that dream market partner first. Everything you want from her, you need to have it first. You need to model it first. You need to show it first. Only until you become that person, you are not going to attract that person. So if you're shy, it's almost impossible for you to attract someone that's not shy. If you are someone that is not self-motivated, that only works when you're feeling good, you are not going to attract someone that's self-motivated. If you don't have a vision or your vision is very blurry, you're going to attract people that need glasses, okay? If you are not resourceful, you're not going to attract someone that's resourceful. I'm just reading as they go. So these are all very good, but this is a great thing like to reflect on, write down like, who is this dream market partner and why do I want her? And then be your own judge and critic. Do I do this? Do I do that? Like, am I embodying the person that I want to attract? And I think some of the things that you should look for in your dream MP, meaning yourself, is, are you showing up every single day? Are you showing up not just for your business, for yourself as a woman, as a wife, as a mother? Like, are you showing up? Are you holding yourself accountable to the things you want to accomplish, or are you only showing up when it's easy or when you feel good? Okay. Do you recruit market partners every day? Now we're going to get more into like Monate specifics. If you don't recruit market partners every month, I'm sorry, not every day. If you don't recruit market partners every month, number one, how are you going to get your dream MP? But number two, if you were to magically get her because a miracle happened, you think it's fair to expect someone below you to do things that you aren't doing yourself? I don't think so. I would never ask my team to do something I'm not doing because I just don't have the guts to. I don't care if I've paid my dues. Like, if I'm asking you to do something, I'm doing it first. I'm doing it before you, or I'm doing it with you. Are you getting new VIPs every month? We all dream of having a super seller market partner. Are you a super seller? Are you getting new clients? Do you wake up your chats? Do you bring that energy? Do you participate in the chat? Do you make yourself known? Sometimes we complain, my God, my market partner is ghost, like she's MIA, she doesn't participate on the chat, she only texts me directly sometimes. Are you being that example? Do you host your own team calls? Do you host your own potential calls? I want a dream market partner for me is self-sufficient. She hits MMB, not even. She has 2 girls under her and she's hosting her own team calls with me there to support her, of course, but she is acting as that leader. So ask yourself, am I hosting my own calls? Am I hosting my own potential calls? You don't have to get to a certain rank to host a call. My first couple calls had 3 people, and I'll never forget that because my grandma made so much fun of me. She was like, you're closing your wedding planning business to talk to 3 pelagatas, she said in Spanish. I don't know how to translate that to English, but she's like, para hablar con 3 pelagatas en el computador. She's like, you're literally talking to 3 little squares on the computer, and you're closing your wedding planning business for that. And those are my calls, and I love them. My first 3 like market partners, well, it was my 2 market partners and 1 of her girls, and it was us 4, and we were writing it out. Do you hold yourself to the highest standards? My dream market partner holds herself to the highest standards. Do I give myself a PV goal, a GV goal, an active line goal? And do I reach it and actually accomplish it every month? Or do I kind of write my goals at the beginning of the month, never look at them again, hope, pray, manifest, please, God, send me someone, and he's not sending me anyone because I'm not doing it, okay? You need to lead by example. You need to show up even when you don't want to. That's one quality of a leader. We show up when we don't want to, or when we're tired, or when we're stressed. I did not sleep last night. I have 2 sick kids. I've had over 8 calls today, some very, very long. I burnt myself cooking before, like, but you need to show up, right? You're a leader. You do the work that you expect and you want your team to do, and you do it first, and you do it better, and you do it faster because you're showing them the way. Okay. And a good way to kind of measure your leadership is asking yourself every single night, If everyone on my team, whether I have 2 people or 50,000 people, if everyone on my team did exactly what I did today, would my business be growing? Imagine this. Let's pretend I have 5 people on my team only, right? I'm new. And today I did nothing because life got in the way and the kids and the husband and work. So I did nothing. I didn't reach out. I didn't follow up. I didn't post. No new conversations. I didn't move the needle forward. I had a rough day. And my 5 girls did exactly what I did. My team is not growing. We're going nowhere. We're actually going backwards at this point. But if today I reached out to 2 people, I hosted a live on Instagram, I followed up with 3, and the 5 girls on my team did the same thing, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 people that we reached out to as a team. That's 5 different lives on Instagram. That's a lot of people being touched, right? 3 times 5, that's 15 follow-ups that happened as a team. Yep, if my team did what I did today, the needle is moving forward. So always ask yourself that. And unfortunately, we cannot control what the people on our team are doing, but we can hold ourselves to those standards. And your teams, whether you have 1 girl below you or 50, they're not dumb. Trust me, just because they can't see your numbers, they know my upline works, my upline doesn't work. You don't want to be the leader of a team that says my upline doesn't do anything, even though it shouldn't be their business. Who cares? But like for me, I would hate for my girls to feel like that. Okay. So now I'm going to very quickly go over some like qualities, habits of being a leader. I wrote them down super quick. So number 1 is obviously discipline. Like I already mentioned, doing the things you know you have to do, even when you don't want to do them. Okay, and building habits. Habit is the small things you do every single day that make the big difference. If you're that person that goes ham one day or 1 week, or 1 month, and you're like, I'm the best. No, I'd rather you give me 10% every single day for a year than give me 150% for a week. Because then what? So it's about, habit stacking, building those habits every day, little things you do every single day. And then you wake up one day and you're like, holy cow, I'm director. Oh my God, I'm making $40,000 a month. How did that happen? It's all those little habits that you stacked every single day. Okay. The next one, consistency, showing up every single day. What you do, your team will do. You need to release the instant gratification mentality and adopt the entrepreneurial mindset. Good things take time. You're building every single day. You can't, again, expect I worked so hard this week, like my check sucked. You are not at a job. You are running a business. You are building an empire. It's not going to happen overnight. If you're used to the instant gratification, either get used to not, or unfortunately, a 9 to 5 or a job is better where no matter what you do, you get that same paycheck. You know how a traditional business, how many years it takes to start seeing results? Years. 7 years, 5 years, 10 years, depending how big your business is, 3 years, 1 year for like a baby business. In money, you can start seeing results in 2 weeks, in a month, but you cannot expect instant gratification. The next one is sacrifices. Short-term sacrifices for long-term results. Guys, we need to be willing to make sacrifices. And if you see the vision, those sacrifices are going to come a little easier. And sacrifices will look different for everyone because we are on a different stage in our business and our lives are completely different. Some of you have 5 kids. Some of you are a single mom. Some of you have 3 jobs. Some of you are students. Like, I can't tell you what a sacrifice is, but, like when I started, my household took a back seat. My laundry would pile up. Dinner, sometimes fast food, sometimes, leftovers, brunches on the weekends and hanging out with friends, that kind of stopped too. Like my best friend that still hasn't joined me and she was never going to join me, she kind of didn't see me for a while because I was building my business and she loves me and she understood. But it's little sacrifices like that. Those of you that have crazy jobs and schedules, a great sacrifice for you is wake up earlier. Wake up an hour earlier and say from 5 to 6 a.m., it's my Monday time. I listen to personal development. I plan my content for the day. I do my follow-ups, whatever it is. Or go to sleep an hour later. Another sacrifice, change Netflix and TV for a team call, for a podcast, for a book. Like there's so many sacrifices that you can be making, and you're always going to be making sacrifices. It's not like you get to SCD and the sacrifices stop. No, the biggest billionaire is still making sacrifices. So it's just like adapting and knowing that sacrifices are always temporary. It's always for a season, it's always for a reason, and it's always going to pay off. Another good quality of a leader is accountability. Be a woman or a man of your word. If you say you're going to do something, then do it. Whatever it takes to get there, do it. When I started this business, I said, this month I'm hitting MMP, I made it happen. This month I'm hitting A and B. Like I would go over my goals because I was not letting myself down. Remember, if you let yourself down, what is expected of you for others? Or what can others expect of you? Hold yourself accountable. It is no one's job to hold you accountable but you. It's not your kids, it's not your husband, it's not your mentor. No. What I will say is find an accountability buddy and run with them. Your mentor, your upline is not always going to be your accountability buddy. 99% of the time, she's not, because she's way ahead of you. An accountability buddy is someone that's going for the same exact goal as you right now. So maybe you guys started at the same time, or you're both going for MMB right now, or you're both, missing 20,000 for Tulum and you want to push for it together. Like someone that has the same goal as you for like the month or for the next 2 months, and you guys are at it every day. Mariana, what are you doing? I got a VIP. Have you posted? Have you gone live? Okay, let's do this. And it works wonders. Okay. Your mentor is one thing. Your accountability buddy is someone else. And this is the person you click with. This is someone that you're building a relationship with, but this is someone that you're in a very friendly competition with, but it works. So if you don't have an accountability buddy, ask on your chat. I'm looking for an accountability buddy. These are my goals for the month, and I'm so serious about it. If you are also going for MMB, if you're super serious, if you want to run, if you want to drive each other crazy, like send me a message, let's connect. Next one, positivity. That's huge, okay? Always have a positive outlook on things. Look at the bright side, okay? We don't get to control what happens to us, but we have full control as to how we react to it. And if you want to build a team, whether it's one person or 10 people, no negative Nancy's allowed. And when your team comes to you with negativity, you need to switch it around. So start practicing that since day one. This next one is a little hard, and it's more when you start growing a team. I'm very good at that, and it's delegating. Delegating is a difficult transition for many leaders because they don't know how to shift from doing to leading. Being a good leader doesn't mean that you do everything for your team. I remember girls used to tell me, I post the content for them, I make the content for them. I'm like, girl, you are getting yourself into trouble. That is a recipe for disaster because it's easy right now because you have 2 people. But imagine when you have 50 level 1s. How are you going to make content for all of them? And do no. As a leader, we delegate, we lead, we give someone else the power to become that leader. That's the beauty of this industry. There's space for every single one of us, all 31 of us on this call, to be a leader, to be SED. Like no one is below me here. We are all at the same level. The only difference is I've been doing it a little bit longer, but that's it. So remember, as a leader, you are going to have to delegate. You are going to have that confidence to tell someone else, like, you can do it. This is your team. I'm here for support. I'm not here to do it for you. And that has a lot to do also with confidence. And if you're new, I want you to instill this saying in your brain, make it till you make it. I'm not saying fake it till you make it, because I don't want you to be fake on here. I want you to make it till you make it. That means freaking do it until the $10,000 a month become a reality. Work until you are on that trip. I'm not saying to fake you're on that trip. No, you're going to be on that trip. The more you believe in yourself, the more you'll be able to manage any stressful situation. And confidence comes from small wins. And small wins comes from taking action, and you need to take action scared. If you're waiting to be MMB or to make $10,000 before you start showing up, you're going to be waiting forever. Okay, as leaders, we need to elevate our team. We need to be more essential and less involved. Okay, you want your team to duplicate. So start, maybe you're like, Joe, I have one person, I don't care. You treat that person like this because you're setting up the boundaries. Because learn it from my mistake. I've had to like restart because I've been learning as I went, and my upline was also new, and we've been learning as we go. Now I know better. Now I'm telling you, trust me, you're going to have 10 level ones. Start treating your one like if you had 10. If she's texting you every day, girl, use the chat. That's what we have it for. I have a full-time job. You know, like start setting those expectations. Doing the work for others will never make you a good leader. It will make you a good babysitter. And we are not in the babysitting industry. I take that to heart. Okay. We are all business owners. We are all busy. We all have our lives going on. I'm not here to compete. Oh, but I do this for them. Or no. I'm like, they do everything. And when my girls get, you know, rank up and everything, that's them. I give them all the credit. I don't take any credit for them. And just remember that done is better than perfect. Okay. Perfection is the enemy of execution. Do not wait for it to be perfect in order for it to get done. Be messy and learn. Work with urgency. That's something that I feel as a team we've kind of slowed down on. When I started, urgency was like everyone's middle name. Like we work with urgency because tomorrow's not promised. And right now we're like, oh, but you know, my smart start is 3 months. I have 3 months to make my neighborhood. What if you make 10 my neighborhoods in 3 months? You know, or this month is over in 4 days. I'm missing 2 active lines. I'll try next month. Do you know what's possible in 4 days? One of my girls hosted an event and we signed up 12 people on the spot in 1 day. Urgency. If you believe it, you can achieve it. But if you're waiting for tomorrow, for the next day, for the next month, for the next quarter, you're going to be waiting forever. Okay? It's not about perfect, it's about effort. And when you bring that effort every single day, that is where the transformation happens. And that is where the change occurs. So always, you know, every night before you go to sleep, say, what did I bring to the table today? Audit yourself. Go back and look at your story. Was I attractive? Was I consistent? Did I talk about my business? If I was looking at this person, would I want to join her? You are your own best critic. Okay. I know we always look for like outside, what is it? I forgot the word, but we want for someone else to approve of it, or like, no, you are your best judge. You are your best critic. You are your best cheerleader. Validation. Thank you. You always know best, and you know when you're half-assing it, and you know when you're cutting it short, and you also know when you gave it your all and you feel so freaking proud. So that's my little take on leadership. It is not easy. It is not easy, but it is so freaking worth it. It makes you such a better, stronger person. It is, I don't know, I feel like it's one of the best qualities to have in life. And I'm so grateful that Monet has allowed me to become a leader, but I continue to learn. I continue to work on my leadership every single day. And that's the last thing. You need to be coachable. You're never going to know it all. You're always learning. And yeah, I feel like this was a mixed call between the objections and leadership. We covered a lot, but I hope it was helpful.
Yeah, I love this call. I think the main thing that I want you girls to remember from leadership is that it's a process, and as the time goes, you're learning and becoming better every day, but always think to yourself, like, are you leading yourself? If you can master leading yourself, you will be able to lead people. All right. Well, thanks for joining, and we'll see you again soon. I'll share the recording. Bye, guys.